Hey guys, it's Ebony and I'm back to do another question in my question and answer video series. And this question I actually got by email, so I have it on my cell phone here. I'm going to go ahead and read just part of what she wrote because I want you to get an understanding of the question. But it basically says, I too am a wife and mother. I balance to the best of my ability this faith walk while still executing the demands of the lives I'm blessed with. And I thought that was really beautiful the way she worded that, because yes, when you're a wife and a mother, the lives that you are taking care of, they're blessings, and sometimes it's easy to forget that they are blessings because there's so much stress and frustration and things that can come up on a day-to-day basis. So you kind of forget these are blessings and you're blessed with these things, and there's somebody out there who's praying for these things, and you're blessed to already have them. So definitely you should be considering them blessings and not burdens or anything that might go through your mind. But anyway, I'll go into more detail about that. But it says, please share some resources that have aided you in staying focused. Okay, so thank you for your question. And first of all, I want to link a video that I did over a year ago when I first moved into this house. I actually did it in my backyard, but I'm going to link it right here. And in this video I did I talked about my top 10 tips for working mothers, and in that video I basically explained things that helped me being a wife, a mother, a full-time, working full-time, also going to school, and also balancing all of that with my faith. And in that video I incorporated a lot of tips that pull from my faith, multitasking, understanding that you're not going to be able to do everything all the time, and that's okay. I just incorporated a lot of things that have helped me, and definitely watch that video if you are interested in like tips to help you balance everything. I will also link it in the description box, just in case you want to finish watching this video before you watch that other one. It'll be linked in the description box and you can click on that. So that video is really helpful, and I still live by a lot of those tips. Now for this video, I'm just going to try to explain what helps keep me focused. So first, for this video, let me just first share that my faith is at the center of everything I do, and then everything that I do kind of stems off of my faith. I'm not perfect. I fall down, I make mistakes, I stumble, I get angry, I get frustrated, I yell at my husband, I do all kinds of things that I shouldn't do, and I'm not perfect. And I don't want you ever to watch any of my videos and hear me talking and come to the assumption that I think that I'm perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. I'm a Christian, and I try my hardest to listen to God when He speaks to me and follow where He's leading me. I really do. But I'm not perfect, and I don't want anybody to think that I think that I'm perfect, because I know I'm not perfect, and I don't judge people because, you know, I've been there, I've done that, I've made mistakes, and I still continue to make mistakes. But guess what? I just try my best to not make the same mistakes, and even if I do, I just keep going. You just keep going, you keep pushing, you pray, you ask for forgiveness, and you keep pushing. Okay, so with that being said, I just want to give you an understanding of how my faith has developed. When I was raised, our faith, or the faith in the house where I was raised, it wasn't very strong. So we really didn't talk about the Bible. We didn't read the Bible together. We didn't pray together. We did like pray before we traveled, or sometimes when we were having like a big meal or something, we would pray. But it wasn't like daily prayer, or if something came up, a situation came up, we would come together in prayer. It wasn't like that in my house, and I really didn't come to have a relationship. I got saved probably when I was like 12, maybe 11, somewhere in there. Me and my sister, I remember, we went up to the front of the church and we got saved at the same time. But although I got saved when I was younger, I really didn't develop a relationship, a really intimate relationship with God, until I was into my mid to late 20s. So by that time, I had already done some things in my life which are contrary to the will of God, and because of that, I struggled a lot. I found that a lot of my decisions that I made caused me to struggle because they were outside the will of God. And you have to understand that when you're in a marriage, or you're a mother and your parent and things like that, if you start doing things that are outside the will of God, you're going to struggle, and it's going to be your own fault. So I won't go into too much detail about my personal situation, because some things I have to keep personal. I hope you guys can respect that. It's just, I have to, because people will tear you apart once they know all your business. And I'm really not worried about people tearing me apart, But I just feel like out of respect for my family and my kids and my husband, some things I need to keep personal. And but I still want to share, and I still want to help people, and I still want people to be able to learn and grow from the things that I've experienced. So I'm going to try to explain things the best I can without getting too personal. But so what I learned is when you start doing things outside the will of God, you are going to struggle, and you're going to have heartbreak, and you're going to have frustrations. When you're in the will of God, you still will have frustrations and heartbreaks and setbacks and things like that, because those are just part of life. But when you're outside the will of God, it's even more so. And it's hard for you to pray and ask God to help you when you know you are outside of His will. You know you're living in sin. You know you're doing things that are contrary to what He has asked us to do based on what's in the Bible. So you just got to think about that when you're in a marriage and you are doing things that clearly goes against what's in the Bible with or towards your husband or whatever, you know. And you're praying to God, how can He assist you when you are when you're not in His will? I hope I'm explaining this well. I always wonder if I'm explaining things well, because I know what I'm thinking in my head, but it's just hard to get it out in words. So when I'm working and whatever I'm doing in my life, I make sure my faith is at the center, and then everything stems off my faith. So in order to balance everything, keep your faith first. Your faith comes before everything. Prayer time, a time with God, all of that comes first before anything else. I keep that first. That way everything else can fall in line. And then after that, my husband comes next. Yes, my husband comes before the kids. Oh, and this might be a shocker to some people, but this is the natural order of things. You know, it's God, husband, you know, wife, children. That's the natural order of things. And I just feel like if you keep the natural order, everything else will fall in place a lot of the times. Not all of the times, but a lot of the times. If that's not what you want to do in your household, that's fine. I'm not telling anybody how to run their household. Do what works for you. But for me, it's my faith first, then my husband, then my children. So that's the order of things that keeps everything flowing smoothly for me. I have hiccups, yes. And then my children come after my husband. So if I'm going through anything, whether it's at work, whether it's at school, whether it's just the tiniest, most insignificant thing, I'll pray about it. And that's because I've come to find out that God cares about everything in your life. Even the most tiniest, insignificant things, the most huge, overwhelming, worrisome things. God cares about everything in your life. So pray about everything, and pray all day, every day. Every time something comes into your mind that may cause you to worry, that may cause you to be stressed, pray about it. Just send up a quick prayer. Or I do this a lot of times at work. You know, take a quick break, go to your car, you know, go where you need to go and just sit down and pray really quick, and just release that to God. A lot of times I'm frustrated at work, and I feel like, this day is about to be the death of me. I feel like I just want to lay down and die. Like, sometimes it's that serious. I just feel so stressed and so overwhelmed. I just go pray and I just release it to God. If I'm having issues with my kids, first thing I do is take it to God in prayer. And the reason for that is because I can try all I want to make my kids behave the way I want them to behave, to learn the way I want them to learn, to do things the way I want them to do. But at the end of the day, I don't have enough power to put things in motion alone, you know. I don't have that power. That power belongs to my Heavenly Father, and I have to pray to Him and have Him to take care of those things. And then from there, I just ask Him to give me patience first and foremost. I think the most important thing that mothers can have with their children besides love is patience, because you just have to be patient. Maybe they're not going to get the concept on the first time or the second time or the 10th time or however many times you've said it. So you just have to have patience. And if you still feel yourself losing patience to the point where you may say something that's out of character, or you may get frustrated, visibly frustrated, just walk away. Just walk away. Or just, I send a quick prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, give me patience in this situation. And so I ask my Heavenly Father for patience. I ask Him for wisdom to know the right things to say and do with my children. And I just ask Him to help me to be the wife and mother that He would like me to be. You know, just simple as that. Just keep that communication with God open at all times. Keep Him first. Pray all the time, and try your hardest to follow His will. If you're not sure what his will is, Google is great. You can Google Bible verses, you can Google questions, and they'll point you to Bible verses, and then you can go to the Bible and read those verses and meditate on them and pray for wisdom and pray that God opens your eyes to certain things that may not be clear if you're not in constant communication with him, and you can't feel his presence in your day-to-day life, because a lot of times he'll be talking to you, but because you are kind of detached from him, because you're not in constant prayer and communication with him, you don't feel it or you don't recognize it. So you just ask him to open your eyes to certain things. Like, I think a huge thing in marriage is forgiveness. Like, that's huge. That's huge. And sometimes it's difficult. You know, sometimes things will happen and it's very difficult to forgive, and you're angry for months and years, and you can't believe he did this, and he can't believe she did that, and it's just ugly. So I know that we must forgive. You know, it says in the Bible that we must forgive. And, you know, a lot of times people get divorced because they can't forgive and they can't get over things. And I think a lot of times people get divorced too soon because of their pride and their lack of ability to forgive. So just think about those things. You know, people are gonna, if you're living with somebody for the rest of your life and you see them every day, they're gonna get on your nerves. You know, they're gonna get on your nerves, and they're gonna do stuff, and you'll be like, why in the world would he do that? Or why in the world would she do that? And you just have to learn to forgive, and that's huge. I think our Heavenly Father wants us to forgive on a daily basis, you know, strangers and people you know. I know I'm all over the place in this video, but I really hope I was able to share some of what's in my head when it comes to how I balance everything, because it's not easy. It's not easy, and the only thing that gets me through every day is my Heavenly Father. It's the only thing, and I talk to him a lot. I talk to him a lot, and he has given me so much strength over the past year and a half, 2 years, that I never knew existed in me. And I am so thankful for him, and I'm so blessed, and I just know whatever comes my way, I'm able to deal with it, whether it's with my children, my husband, my job, school, whatever. I know I'm able to deal with it because I know he is always faithful. He will never leave me. He's always there when I need him, and he's always on time, and his time is not your time. So you got to understand that too. You might be praying for something for months, even years, and you're like, my prayers are not getting answered. His time is not your time. So he may be in the process of working something together for your good, and you just don't know it. Don't give up on praying, because as soon as you give up, that's when your breakthrough is about to happen. Do not give up. Do not give up on praying. And you know, and how do you know when to stop praying about something? When you have peace. When you have peace about it, and God is giving you peace about it, you know, or you have an answer, you know. And sometimes you won't have that peace for years, and that's okay. Continue to pray. So I hope I answered your question. I know this video is kind of long. I hope you got something out of it. I appreciate you asking the question. I'm talking specifically to the subscriber who asked the question. I wish you the best of luck in your life. You are blessed, my dear. And another thing I want to add in there that I didn't add really quick is you need a support system. If you don't have sisters, mothers, aunties, friends, somebody to support you, who can pray with you, who can lift you up, who can encourage you, you need that. It's so important. So hopefully you have that. If you don't, email me, and I will be that encouragement and that support system to you. Alright, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. So to answer that question, yes, I was definitely camera shy in the beginning, and if you even go back and watch some of my earlier videos, you can tell I'm a totally different person on camera. I was very timid. I was very meek, you know.